They are business leaders, experts in economy, society, and culture. In 15 minutes, their insights will create a vivid picture of Vietnam. Sharing Vietnam, the country as you see it.
Hello everyone and welcome to Sharing Vietnam on our international channel NetViet VTC 10. The United Kingdom is one of the strategic partners of Vietnam in many fields. On today's program, we would love to focus on the bilateral relation in the field of university education as well as the operation of United Kingdom University in Vietnam. And joining with us today is Mr. Christopher Jeffery, Dean of British University in Vietnam.
Mr. Christopher Jeffery, Dean of British University Vietnam, comes from England.
I think I'm very honored to be one of his students. In his class, he is teaching me the operation management now, and I think that was a quite very, funny subject.
The one fun fact that I want to talk about Chris is that his catchphrases. That's one of the most funniest thing about him. Well, in the class, he always uses catchphrases like marvelous, fabulous. And when we are sleeping, he just said, "Well, wiki wiki, wake up, students."
Hello, Mr. Christopher Jeffery, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Hello.
As we have just seen in the clip, you are teaching the second-year students. So, apart from being a dean, you also work as a teacher. So could you please share with us about this?
I think it's quite important to not only run a university, but also to teach, because then you meet the students regularly and you also know what they're thinking about.
So as the student said in the short clip that you are quite a serious teacher. So what do you think about this and what do you love to say with them?
I am serious, but I also like to have fun. Learning should be fun, but getting a British degree requires a lot of work. So they have to work hard. They have to understand that there are challenges and it's not all easy, but it should be fun. And I think somebody who teaches should understand when to be serious and when to laugh.
So being a manager in education and also a teacher for a long time, what do you think the most important factors for a student, for a teachers and both for the student, especially in teaching method?
I think teaching methods have changed over the years. I think for a lecturer, the most important thing is to be comfortable. If you're trying to communicate, you need to be comfortable, you need to be confident. You need to be fully aware of your subject. From a student perspective, the needs have changed from university as well. It's not just about learning the subject, it's learning the skills, learning the ability to apply it in practice. And that's what today's firms really want.
So you have a lot of different students. So how could you manage to impact the knowledge to them?
It's through different methods, so for example, case study or presentations, group work, teamwork. One of the key things that employers look for now is teamwork. The ability to work with other people and to produce goods or services as a group, not an individual.
So when you start to teach Vietnamese students, what do you think about them?
They smiled, which is good. They are keen. They are determined to succeed, but also they understand the importance of education, the importance of really doing as well as they can to make sure that they can contribute not only to their own future, but the country's future and their family's future. And that's a great thing for a teacher to have. To have that as your raw material is fantastic.
So what do you think, what are your assessments on the reception to your lecture?
I think sometimes they love me, sometimes they don't love me. It depends where we are in the series of lectures. But I think the ability of them to take on board what we're saying, also the commitment to do the work, is very good and probably better than many students in London.
So before continuing with our talk today, let's have a short break and we will look at our clip about British University in Vietnam.
Officially went into operation since September 2009, British University Vietnam is the first university of UK opened in Vietnam. BUV brings to Vietnamese students a modern learning environment with international standard quality degree. We are awarded directly from London School of Economics and Political Science under the London University System and Staffordshire University. BUV offers 5 majors including International Business Administration, Finance and Banking, Finance and Accounting, Marketing Management and Accounting and Business.
Đại học Anh Quốc Việt Nam là trường đại học của Anh đầu tiên giảng dạy và cấp bằng Anh Quốc tại Hà Nội. Chúng tôi rất tự hào về những thành quả chúng tôi có được. Không chỉ giảng dạy lý thuyết, sinh viên của chúng tôi còn được khuyến khích áp dụng những lý thuyết đó vào thực tế. Thế hệ trẻ ngày nay cần được trang bị đầy đủ kiến thức và kinh nghiệm để làm việc ở một môi trường hội nhập quốc tế. Đó là những gì Đại học Anh Quốc Việt Nam cam kết thực hiện.
Hello everyone and welcome back. So Mr. Christopher, what do you think about the relation, the cooperation between Vietnam and British in terms of education?
Education is a key element of the relationship between the two governments. Recently, the Vietnamese and British government signed a strategic partnership, and education was one of those elements between the links for the two countries. At the moment, we have the British University Vietnam, which is here in Hanoi, but also the British government and the Vietnamese government are developing a Vietnam-UK university in Da Nang with Da Nang University. So education is very important. English language is also very important, and also high school and secondary school. So all levels of education are important to the links between the two countries.
We can see that in Vietnam nowadays, a lot of students want to have and want to join English class in Vietnam. So how could you manage to demand all of that needs from the Vietnamese student?
There are a lot of providers, and I think there are different levels. Not everyone wants a university education. For us, it's about a long-term investment. We've just agreed to build our main campus at Echo Park, which is a $41 million investment over a period of years. So we will be able to cater for 10,000 students when that's complete.
So why did British University decide to settle down here in Vietnam and build a wonderful campus, admire a lot of students?
Vietnam is a country which really cherishes and invests in education. Also, it's a growing population and a young population. But also there's a need for education, for international education here in Vietnam. And so there was an opportunity which we as a university really decided it was worthwhile to invest over the long term in a business here.
So from British University experience as well as succeed up to now, so what is the most significant factors in order to develop Vietnam education in the future?
I think education needs to change over time. What we were taught when I was at university is out of date, so it needs to change. I think one of the key elements is the skills, the ability to apply. Education is about a career progression. It's the start of a journey. And you need to have a really good foundation to develop your career. So skills, so language, so the ability to analyze are really important.
So from the example of British University, we can see that not only English university, but a lot of university in the world start to settle down here in Vietnam. Is it a positive side to Vietnam?
Yes and no. It depends. University education is really positive, but quality is key. Students are investing in their future. Parents are investing in their sons' or daughters' futures. So it has to be the right investment. What's important, and the Vietnamese government's very good about this, as is the British government, is quality. It has to be quality. It has to be here for the long term, and it has to build people's confidence and their skills so that they will succeed into the future.
So let's have a look at our short clip about Vietnam-British cooperation in education.
The bilateral relation between Vietnam and the United Kingdom have flourished since the country established full diplomatic relations in 1973 in several key areas, including education. Vietnam has identified education as one of the top priorities in the national development process. Therefore, Vietnam always wants to expand cooperation in education in general and higher education in particular with developed countries, especially with renowned universities in UK. VUV is one of the key education projects of strategic cooperation policy between the government of Vietnam and UK in the educational field.
Hello everyone and welcome back with Sharing Vietnam with Mr. Christopher Jeffery from British University. So as we can see now, the relation between Vietnam and British in education focus much about scholarship and exchange of courses. So what should we do to make a breakthrough in the relation?
I think it's a development and it's an excellent start. But what we need to do is we need Vietnamese lecturers to go over to Britain to learn how the British system works, but also British lecturers to come over to Vietnam to learn about Vietnam, to learn about Vietnamese students, but also to learn about the culture, the language and the opportunities here. Because education is about sharing, and that's what needs to be done into the future, sharing at all levels.
So a lot of Vietnamese students, and as for me too, I love to have a master in British University. So in the future, when you bring the master degree here to Vietnam?
Yes, most definitely. We're expanding the new campus. Master's programs will be a big element because of the professional training element of education. So we will be doing that, as well as expanding our portfolio of undergraduate degrees as well.
So as for you personally, what will your plan to stay here and work here in Vietnam?
I intend to stay here for a long time, hopefully. The project, I feel, is 8 to 10 years. And I would love to stay and actually make sure the project comes to full fruition. So in 8 years or 10 years, you can interview me again here.
Thank you. So before the end of the show, what would you love to say with your student, prospective student already?
Well, I think the key thing is that Vietnam has showed me, and the students have showed me, the respect that they have for education and the gratitude they have for good teaching. So I'd like to thank the students at British University, but also the students I meet at schools for their commitment to being a success.
So thank you so much for joining and sharing with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So today is November the 18th, and 2 days before the Vietnamese Teacher Day, so we would love to express our congratulations to you and to all the foreigner teachers in Vietnam.
Thank you. It's much appreciated.
Thank you so much. We hope that you enjoy the program, and we see you next time.